Welcome back. We're now in 17.6, corrosion. In this section, we're going to define corrosion and list some methods used to prevent or slow corrosion. So corrosion is generally defined as the degradation of metals by a naturally occurring electrochemical process. For instance, rust on iron, tarnish on silver, or patina on copper. If we were to look at iron rusting, this involves the creation of a galvanic cell at the surface of the iron. So there's some stoichiometry variation in the iron hydrate that is made. And then this iron corrosion is actually continuing to happen as the rust flakes off. So this is as opposed to something like copper. When that green patina forms on the surface of copper, it actually ends up protecting the copper on the inside. However, rust does not work like that. So your anode is the iron for rust, for the rust formation, and your cathode is going to be your oxygen. So this forms on the rust, and you have this overall reaction forming iron 2 plus, and then you get this iron 2 plus in some humid air, and it's going to then make this iron 3 oxide hydrate, which is rust. And then as it flakes off, now you're exposing more of the iron metal to the environment, and so then that's going to continue to oxidize and then form the rust also. Then you have the Statue of Liberty, which has a copper skin. It was originally copper, that beautiful reddish brown copper color. But then exposure to the elements oxidized that copper on the outside, giving it that blue-green patina that we see today. So this is showing you corrosion on some iron. Sometimes you can paint it. If you paint it, you're protecting the inside iron from exposure, so it won't rust. But if that paint were to chip away, then you can still form that galvanic cell, and you can see kind of what's happening here. A cathode site versus an anode site. Oh my goodness, I can't talk today. And then how water plays a part in that. So there's a few different ways that we can protect the metals from corrosion. Painting them is one version, since you're giving this outside layer that's now covering the inside metal. You can alloy the metal with some other metal to strengthen it. Or you can do a process called galvanization, which you coat a metal with a more readily oxidized metal, such as zinc. So this is also called cathodic protection. So this is used especially with iron, so to help keep it from rusting for like some tanks or pipes, and it uses a sacrificial anode that gets used up as it corrodes. So the sacrificial anode is on the outside of the iron, so it rusts before the iron does. And so if your tank or your pipes are properly maintained, then they get recoated or even replaced, and you can keep that iron healthy for a long time. So this protected metal actually during this process is acting as the cathode and is conducting the transferred electrons from your sacrificial anode. So this is just kind of showing you sacrificial anodes for either a tank or I think those are two different types of tanks, but also just kind of showing you the cell.